fixtures away from the URC, starting with Worcester Warriors. A real tough time for them at the moment. They have been put in administration and they have been suspended by the RFU for playing any games in all competitions now because of financial issues. There are so many Welsh connections with the club, including senior assistant coach Mark Jones, who earlier in the week spoke to the Scrum Fight podcast.
We certainly haven't spoken to the owners. The owners haven't stood in front of us as employees and explained the situation, which I suppose has led to everybody drawing their own conclusions. I don't know who's to blame. All I know is that the business has failed like a lot of other businesses do. Ironically, when I took the job, one of the selling points that was spoken to me about was the club was debt-free and had a lot of assets behind it, which put it in a very strong position. And obviously I joined through COVID. So it was actually quite reassuring at that time, ironically, that the club was in such a good position. But it just goes to show when you get into a snowball effect and you can't finance things, that you can get yourself in a lot of trouble in a short space of time.
Yeah, talking about Welsh connections, one of your former clubs, of course. It's tough, and I guess it's not nice for you as a former player.
No, definitely not. I had 5 wonderful years there as a player, and that was the club that allowed me to, play international rugby, the coaches and the other players there. So it's hugely disappointing to see what they're going through. And, I actually joined Worcester Warriors from the Celtic Warriors, so I know exactly what it's like. Played our last game on Friday, 2 days out in Connacht and end of season do, and on Monday got made redundant. That certainly cleared the hangover. But, the whole world at the moment's in a tough time, and rugby's no different, but it doesn't make it any easier to see one of your former clubs in that situation.
Yeah, Wasps, another club in financial difficulty, used to play over in the Gallagher Prem, and I guess we always talk about the Wales issues, but it's not, well, the grass isn't always greener.
No, it's tough. Obviously, you sign these contracts knowing that you're locked in for 2-3 years, and then you get told that you may not have a job, in a couple of days. So we've got friends there, and obviously they're, desperately worried and whatnot, and obviously those games that other teams aren't playing them, they're missing on revenue as well. So it's not just them, it's other clubs as well.
And as a coach, you're trying to think of the next game, but also thinking of your own position.
Yeah, the coach and the players in the same boat, so the empathy is there. I think all you've got to try and do is create some sort of siege mentality. You're honouring your side of the deal, and if they do get out and play, show that you're in the shop window and available. That's all they can do.
Well, the situation could also affect a few of the women who are out in New Zealand preparing for the World Cup, their first game in a week. 8 of those players are based at Worcester, but there's a job to be done. Business as usual over in a very rainy New Zealand as they prepare for Scotland.